town near Battle Creek, Michigan, and the town's called Marshallville in the story, as you heard. And Battle Creek is the home of Kellogg's cereal, so that's why you see a lot of cereal everywhere. And Fruit Loops, I should say. Lots of fruit. You'll see some Fruit Loops in the room, too. So before I started to work on this story, Miles and I went back to his old elementary school and playground, actually he lives in a different part of Michigan, so I could see what it looked like, and he could show me how he made those spirals, and we could just talk about what his life was like back in 4th grade. And so there we are at his old school playground. And one more picture. There. I have to give Miles a lot of credit for being open with me about the academic struggles that he faced and also just the friendship struggles back in elementary school. One of the things I'll never forget that he said was, different kids like me have to use our creativity to keep out of trouble. Or to keep away from trouble, I guess he said. And I really admired the strategies that he created to kind of cope with his life. One of the strategies is the spiral. And I don't want to give away how that spiral helped him, because you'll discover that in the book. But that was one of his ways to cope with what was going on in his life as a 4th grader. But books often take you to unexpected places as well. So eventually I ended up 3,600 miles away from Michigan on this beach. So what does this beach have to do with Michigan and my nephew? Well, this beach is in Wales. The name of the beach is Munt Beach. And I found just in some of my research about big works of art that there's a man who creates works of art on this beach and others in Wales. And here's a picture of me having lunch with him. His name is Mark Trainer, and he has a life that's he grew up, I should say, in a way that was very similar to Miles. He had some of the same struggles. And then he ended up becoming a sand artist. So this is Mark Trainer, and this is some of his work. And these are created on beaches in Wales. Here's one more, so you can see how large these really are. Now he does these with a rake, and just a rake and his feet, and a compass, usually. And obviously once the tide comes in, his designs are erased. And that's one of his favorite parts of his art, is that it's all impermanent, the impermanence of it. And not far away from where Mark Trainer works, I found that there's another artist who creates amazing works of art out of stones. So here's some of his work. And his website's called Sculpt the World. And then there was one other artist I read about who has just been here in the United States last month. He works in snow, and his name is Simon Beck. So here's Simon Beck in Colorado just recently, and he creates wonderful mathematical designs, but also snowflakes. So here's one of his kind of snowflake math designs. This is all done with snowshoes, ski poles, a compass, and he does most of the work himself, just stamping out the snow. Sometimes he works for days, a week at a time, creating these amazing works in fields, on ponds, in valleys. So I started this book with just an idea to write about a boy who drew mysterious and secret designs on his school playground, and I ended up finding out that he's not alone. There are many other artists like him around the world. All right, so testing out the view from above again. Does anybody recognize these two buildings? It is? I heard it from the front. Yes? Our school, yeah. This is Lakeview Elementary. Now, which is which? Lakeview's on the bottom. What's the one on the top? Roberts. Yeah, so Roberts, which is Cuyahoga Falls School, is on the top, and Lakeview Intermediate is on the bottom. So this is where I'd like to talk about the students in the room who also played a major role in shaping and inspiring the story. Well, since April's a 6th grader, I decided I needed to find out what life was like as a 6th grader, because it's been a long time since I've been one. So I asked if I could have lunch with some 6th graders at Roberts to find out what life is like as a 6th grader. So I brought my questions. Here's my page of questions. And about a dozen students agreed to have lunch with me. Are any of those students here? Just raise your hands if any of the Roberts students had lunch. Okay, so about 12 students had lunch. And of course my first question for them is this one. What's it like to be a 6th grader? How would you describe it? So here's what they told me. It's hard to figure out where you fit in from top to bottom, meaning, I guess, the social ladder. It's hard to stay out of the drama. And it's hard to keep the old friends that you have had and not make snap assumptions about people.